Awaken the Giant Within. Introduction. The power you already have. Tony Robbins begins Awaken the Giant Within with a bold idea. The greatest power to change your life already exists inside you. Most people believe far below their true potential, not because they lack ability, intelligence, or opportunity, but because they never take control of their thoughts, emotions, and decisions. Robbins calls this hidden power the giant within. The purpose of the book is to teach you how to take command of your mind, your feelings, and your actions so you can consciously design the quality of your life instead of living on autopilot. According to Robbins, real change doesn't come from motivation alone. It comes from understanding how your mind works and learning how to direct it deliberately. Chapter 1, Dreams of Destiny. In this chapter, Robin explains that every meaningful change begins with a clear vision of what you truly want. Most people settle for small dreams or vague wishes because they are afraid of disappointment. Robbins changes readers to dream bigger and to define what success truly means to them, not society, not family, but themselves. He explains that when you connect your goals to deep emotional reasons, your motivation becomes unstoppable. This chapter teaches that clarity creates power, and without a compelling vision of future, people remain stuck repeating the patterns of their past. Chapter 2, Decisions, the Pathway to Power. Robbins emphasizes that it is not conditions, resources, or luck that shape our lives. It is our decisions. Every major turning point in life is the result of decision made with certainty. Many people delay decisions out of fear, but indecision itself becomes a decision that keeps them trapped. Robin explains that powerful people decide quickly and commit fully, even when they don't have all answers. Once a decision is made, the mind begins to search for ways to make it work. This chapter teaches that taking responsibility for your decision is the first step towards personal power. Chapter 3, The Power of Belief. Beliefs act as filters through which we see the world. Robbins explains that beliefs can either empower or limit us, regardless of whether they are true. People often fail not because something is impossible, but because they believe it is. Robbins introduced that idea that beliefs are learned and therefore can be changed. When you replace limiting belief with empowering ones, your behavior, confidence, and results begin to change automatically. This chapter highlights that changing what you believe about yourself and what is possible can dramatically alter the direction of your life. Chapter 4, Master Your Emotions. Robbins explained that emotions are not random, they are signals created by the meanings we assign to events. Happiness, anger, fear, and confidence are not result of interpretations. Most people allow their emotions to control them, reacting automatically to situations. Robbins teaches that emotional mastery comes from changing focus, language, and meaning. When you understand how emotions work, you can shift your emotional state at will. This chapter emphasizes that emotional control is essential for long term success and fulfillment. Chapter 5, 5 Step Emotional Mastery Process. In this chapter, Robin introduces a practical system for changing emotional patterns. He explains that lasting change requires awareness, responsibility, and consistent action. By recognizing emotional patterns and replacing unhelpful responses with empowering ones, people can reprogram their emotional habits. Robbins stresses that emotional mastery is not about suppressing feelings, but about redirecting them productively. This chapter teaches that discipline is managing emotions leads to freedom, confidence, and inner stability. Chapter 6: How Values Shape Your Life. Values are the invisible forces that drive every decision and behavior. Robbins explained that people are motivated either by the desire to gain pleasure or to avoid pain, and these motivations are shaped by personal values. When your values are unclear or conflicting, life feels confusing and stressful. By identifying and consciously choosing your values, you gain control over your priorities and directions. This chapter teaches that aligning your actions with your highest values creates fulfillment and consistency. Chapter 7: Rules, the Hidden Code of Happiness. Robin explains that people create unconscious rules for happiness, such as I'll be happy when I succeed, or I must be perfect to feel confident. These rigid rules often make happiness difficult or impossible. Robbins encourages creating flexible rules that allow happiness to be experienced more often. By changing the conditions you attach to emotions, you regain control over your emotional life. This chapter teaches that happiness is not an outcome, it's a habit shaped by the rules you live by. Chapter 8: Identity, the Ultimate Force. Identity is how you define yourself, and according to Robbins, it is one of the most powerful forces in human behavior. When people say, I'm not just confident or I am bad with money, they're reinforcing an identity that limits growth. Robbins explains that changing behavior temporarily is difficult unless identity changes first. When you shift how you see yourself, your actions naturally flow. This chapter emphasizes that upgrading your identity is essential for permanent change. Chapter 9: Neuroassociative Conditioning. In this chapter, Robin introduces the concept of conditioning the nervous system through repetition and emotion. He explains that habits are formed when behaviors are linked with strong feelings of pleasure or pain. By consciously associating pain with limiting habits and pleasure with empowering ones, you can reshape behavior at a deep level. This process goes beyond willpower and works directly with how the brain is wired. The chapter teaches that lasting change happens when new behaviors feel normal or not forced. Chapter 10: The Power of Questions. The quality of your life depends on the quality of questions you ask yourself. Robbins explained that most people ask disempowering questions like, why does this always happen to me? Which leads to frustration and helplessness. Empowering questions such as, what can I learn from this? Shift focus towards solutions and growth. This chapter teaches that asking better questions instantly improves emotional state, creativity, and problem solving ability. Chapter 11: Modeling Excellence. Robbins believes that success leaves clues. Instead of reinventing the wheel, you can model the belief, strategies, and habits of successful people. He explains that excellence is not mystery, it's a pattern. By studying how top performers think and act, you can adopt similar approaches in your own life. This chapter teaches that learning from other escalates growth and shortens the path to success. Chapter 12: Physiology, the Power of the Body. Robbins explains that the body plays a critical role in shaping emotions and mindsets. Posture, breathing, and movement directly influence how you feel. When people change their physical state, their emotional state often changes instantly. This chapter emphasizes that confidence, energy, and focus are not just mental, they are physical habits that can be trained. Chapter 13: Time and Life Management. True productivity, according to Robbins, is not about doing more, but about doing what matters most. He explains that successful people focus on high impact actions aligned with their values and goals. Managing time effectively requires clarity, discipline, and the ability to say no distraction. This chapter teaches that controlling your schedule is essential for controlling your life. Final conclusion. Awakening the Giant Within. Awaken the Giant Within teaches that lasting success and fulfillment come from mastering the inner world before trying to control the outer one. When you take responsibility for your decisions, beliefs, emotions, values, and identity, you gain the power to shape your destiny. The giant within you awakens when you stop reacting to life and start directing it consciously. Small changes practiced consistently create massive transformation over time. Closing. The final The moment you decide to take control of your mind, your emotions, and your actions, you awaken the giant within, and your life will never be the same again. Thank you. Please like and subscribe.